Okay, good morning, Nadia and Dira.
Morning.
Okay, okay, thank you, the beautiful speakers who are present on this podcast. I am the moderator who will guide the course of our podcast today. Okay, let me introduce our research person today. The first is Nadia. Hi, Nadia.
Hi, good morning. Hello, my name is Nadya Oktaria Putri. I'm one of the speaker in this podcast. Thank you.
Okay, and the second research is Dira. Hi, Dira.
Hello, I'm Salsabela, and I'm one of the speaker of this podcast too.
Okay, thank you. In this podcast, we will discuss about Palestine and the international criminal law perspective. For the first questions, I will ask Nadia. Okay, the first question is, what is your view on the case of Israel and Palestine, Nadia?
Okay, thank you for this question, moderator. What is my view on the case Israel and Palestine? As we know that conflict between Israel and Palestine have been happening since 19th centuries until now. This conflict is the longest conflict happened. Be at the bottom of the case, conflict Israel and Palestine was caused the Behavior Declaration at 1917. This declaration to declare about the letter who written by Secretary of State of England for Leonard Walter Rothschild. Leonard was led Jewish England community. The letter consists about the government of England want to build nation house for the Jewish in Palestine. Because of that, millions of Jews moved to Palestine. So the decision was crossed with Arabian and the conflict could happen. And the second, I want to say that I think the United Nations is the cause too. Why at 1917 United Nations did division region at land of Palestine. The population of the Jews is just 30% from all of land of Palestine, so they just took 6%. So United Nations divided region of Palestine into two regions, 50% for Jewish and 50% left for Arabian. But the Arabian rejected this decision. At the same time, the Jews wanted to all the land of Palestine. So I can say that United Nations should responsible for their decision at was. But we can see now they do not at all. The conflict of Israel and Palestine is current conflict with me. The conflict named as war nation, but I think it's not at all. The war has a regulation, but this conflict doesn't have regulation. I think this conflict more suitable as a game of humanity. Why I said that? Because as long as this conflict happened, the soldiers of Israel named Zionists against the Pidana of Palestine, like kids, women, and Ulster. If we hang with Rome Statute that have broke regulation of Article 7 at Rome Statute. And I think, and in my opinion, the world's organization must search way to take out Palestine from that condition. That's all of my view of the case.
Okay, thank you, Nadia. The next question is, what is your view of Israel taking hospitals in Palestine? Can you explain, Dira?
Okay, thank you for the opportunities. So for me, Israel destruction of Gaza healthcare system is not only an important part of the genocide charges, it's also a blatant war crime that should be prosecuted outright by the International Criminal Court or ICC. And it is clear that state intentionally directing attacks against medical unit and transport is prohibited as a war crime under the ICC Rome Statute. So it's also said that hospital and other medical facility are civilian objects that have special protection under international humanitarian law or the law of wars. Hospital only lose their protection from attack if they are being used to commit harm from to the enemies. So in my opinion, relating to the statute Rome's Article 7, the Israeli government should immediately end all and unlawful attacks on hospital, ambulance, and other civilian objects, as well as its total blockade of the Gaza Strip, which amounts to the war crime of a collective punishment. Hamas and other Palestinian armed groups should be also take feasible precaution to protect civilian under the control. I think that's all, moderator.
Okay, the next question is uh, for Nadia. If it is associated with the Roma Statute Article 7, is there any deviation done by Israel and Palestine?
Okay, thank you. To the second question for me, moderator. Of course, I said at the first answer, Israel has done deviation of Rome Statute at Article 7. The Article 7 of Rome Statute state for the purpose of this statute, crime against humanity means any of the following acts when committed as part of widespread or systematic attack directed against a civilian population with knowledge of the attack. The point A, like murder, the extermination, and forced pregnancy, and any other form of sexual violence. And we can see that Israel do anything that regulates at Rome Statute Article 7. So I think Israel has done deviation this regulation. This conflict has killed 24,000 people, and they all is civilian. That's all, moderator.
Okay, thank you, Nadia. The next question is, if the case of assault on Palestine is associated with the protection of children and women, what is your view? The attack is contrary to international law on the protection of children and women. What's your answer, Dira?
Okay, thank you. First of all, I do have serious concern about human rights violating against Palestinian women in Gaza and the West Bank, because those violence that happen are serious breaches of international law. A prompt independent investigation is needed in order for perpetrators to be held accountable. So I think is the state have a legal and moral responsibility to protect civilians, prevent war crimes and violating of international law. Looking resolution or continue to provide arms and ammunition enables the atrocities to continues. So the international community must come together and do everything in its power to forge an immediate and permanent ceasefire, ensure the release of hostages and unlawful detained Palestinians, as well as ensuring full humanitarian access for the child and the women. So, and I'll say that I remember Israel say that all of those acts that they have been do is a self-defense. But surely it cannot be argued that children or women giving birth are a threat. Women giving birth and children are protected under international law, but beyond the clear obligation, it should not take legal dispute to expose the very obvious. I think that's all, moderator.
Okay. The next question is for Nadia. What do you think about Israel attacking civilians?
Okay, thank you, moderators. What my opinion is, Israel attacking civilians. Yes, and we all, I think we always have some thinking about it. I think it's wrong acts. Those acts is banned by some regulation in the words like Rome Statute, Home Right, and Geneva Convention too. All of regulation, whatever person can be live comfortably, safe to and can do what they want without dangerous condition. As well as purpose of the world regulation about humanity. And why Israel attacking civilians? So it's so wrong, and we should to ban it these acts. I think is my opinion, moderator.
Okay, thank you, Nadia. The last question is for Dira. In your opinion, how does it relate to the actions of the International Criminal Court?
Okay, thank you. So how does this relate? So the International Criminal Court, as a part of broader system of justice pathway, has an essential role to play in delivering accountability for the serious international crimes committed by all parties in Israel and Palestine. Whether it will be able to do so depends largely on the will of the international community to support impartial and independent justice. So the International Criminal Court has been on the radar of Palestinian human rights organization for a long time, well before the latest round of fighting that erupted on October 7 in Gaza. A strike and rocket attack by Israel, Hamas, and other armed groups that target civilians or are indiscriminate violate the law of war, and when committed with the criminal intent, are war crimes. The Israel occupying authorities have committed and continue to commit other international crimes, including West Bank settlement if the occupying power transfer and any of its civilian population into the co-authority, either it's directly or indirectly, is a war crime too, which is war crime is settled in the ICC, or the ICC is based on Saturn, so it's related. And the way the ICC in the Hague has jurisdiction over war crimes and other serious international crimes committed in or from the LPT or the International of the State of Palestine, which is an ICC member and binational of Palestine. So I think that's why it's related, because some of the act of Israel did is also based on Saturn. That's all, moderator.
Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you, Dira. Okay, guys, a very complete and extraordinary explanation from Nadya and Dira for our podcast today. Thank you for the very complete explanation from our two sources. Hopefully, all this explanation can open our horizon of thinking about the importance of caring for others without distinguishing between status, religion, gender, or country. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for today, Dira and Nadya.
Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you so much.